If you or a loved one are struggling with type 2 diabetes, you should visit the link in the description below. This clinically proven, drug-free program lowers blood sugar to a normal level and can completely reverse type 2 diabetes within just a few weeks. Here's today's video.
The question, can a diabetic eat beef? Answer by Lisa Voss. Yes, a diabetic can certainly eat beef. As far as insulin-dependent diabetes goes, it's a tricky meal when it comes to calculating insulin dosing. It's high in protein that's metabolized very slowly, causing a blood sugar increase over the span of many hours. In my experience, it's caused blood sugar increase for a good 48 hours. That's a very rough estimate, and it depends in great part on what else you're eating along with it, because if a meal has a good deal of fat, say in mayonnaise, in cheese, or in the meat itself, it will slow down digestion further. A type 1 diabetic would have to have at least a rough idea of how much insulin to dose in an insulin to protein ratio. We spend a good bit more time determining our insulin to carbohydrate insulin dosing ratios. Nutritionists and diabetes educators don't tend to teach diabetics how to deal with protein, at least, not in my experience, though perhaps that's changing in modern times. I was diagnosed in 1965. After we make a guesstimate about how much insulin to dose, we then have to make another guesstimate about how long the dose should be extended. If it's delivered all at once, the insulin will peak far before the meal has finished, causing our blood sugar to rise. That can be quite a mess. A diabetic in such a case will experience hypoglycemia when the insulin peaks, will experience hyperglycemia as the meat continues to metabolize and raise the blood sugar, and will often, if my experience is a guide, spend a good many hours seesawing between blood sugar spikes and lows. Fortunately, most if not all insulin pumps can be set to deliver doses over a matter of hours. It can be very helpful if you want a nice steak. As far as type 2 diabetics go, I really don't know how their medications work. Also, I'm not sure how an insulin-dependent diabetic who doesn't use an insulin pump would deal with a meal of beef. Multiple daily injections, MDI, can be a superb way to accomplish excellent blood sugar controls, from what I've gathered, but I'm not sure how diabetics handle the extended blood sugar rise situation. I would imagine it's a combination of a long-acting insulin plus multiple injections of fast-acting, analog insulins in response to blood sugar increase. That's just an educated guess. It seems to me that would be more of a reactive, as opposed to a proactive, approach to deal with a meal that raises blood sugar slowly over an extended time. We really need input from MDI diabetics on the matter, as well as type 2 non-diabetics, so hopefully some of them will weigh in. Answer by Leanne Heisey. Why not? Unlike carbs, it won't cause a spike in one's blood glucose levels after eating, so usually need no adjustment in one's anti-diabetic meds. The proteins ingested are broken down into shorter polypeptides, then into its constituent amino acids, which are taken up in our small bowel. These amino acids are mainly used to make new protein from. Only the excess is burned off in the Krebs cycle, at the end indeed producing some glucose, which is not used, is stored as liver/muscle glycogen, if there is still some left into fat. Answer by Firm Muhammad. Yes, and if you like me then you won't need to take any extra insulin to cover for it.